How are you all doing tonight? My name is Vaughn Miller. I'm a resident of 780 Park Avenue, and I'm here tonight on behalf to address the naming of a new track and field complex after John Dion. I prepared just a short statement, so I'll be out of your hair shortly. A few months ago, the council passed a resolution condemning all forms of racial supremacy. Now you have a chance to put that sentiment into actionable use. It's time for you all to put your money where your mouth is. If the council truly believes that any idea of racial superiority is wrong, then they, by all logic, should not honor someone who has advocated for an ideology built upon the principle of racial supremacy. If you cannot do that, if you cannot stand by your word or even your official resolutions, then you have made liars of yourselves and proven to the people of this city that you do not deserve their trust. If you cannot stand by your own resolutions, then why do we need you? I feel it is my responsibility to remind the council that none of them have the inherent right to be elevated above the rest of these people before you. There is an unyielding responsibility that comes with political office. There is honor and dignity in service to others. I should know this, considering I have served the people of this country as a member of the United States Navy. It is an honor and a privilege to serve your fellow person. If you cannot continually earn that privilege, then you have failed to meet the standard demanded of you. If you cannot meet this standard, then you have no business being up on that stage, cutting a paycheck to do nothing. That is all.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the City Council?
Hello, my name is Ronnie Buster, resident of 37 Lincoln Street, Woonsocket, Rhode Island. I would like to thank you for the opportunity to voice my concern with the resolution that the person before me just spoke of. Before I do that, I would like to thank you for your service. And also, just to speak a little bit more about what he presented. I have raised and am raising 3 children, 2 of which are grown and have graduated from Woonsocket High School. All have been raised here in Woonsocket, including my son, who is 14, starting his first year at the high school. They have all made use of the track in various parks and other recreational things within the city coming up. With that being said, the fact that this resolution is asking that we never give the opportunity for my son, myself, others like us, and others that understand where we all come from and where we're all going, to ever be able to change the name of the track is just beyond me. The fact that Mr. Dion has done things for this community is not lost to me. What's lost to me is the fact that where he's trying to go with what he's already done. He leaves no stone unturned with dictating who he is and what he stands for. He has associated himself with the white nationalist movement, which is the same ideology of white supremacy, which leaves no room in the city of Woonsocket. We're underrepresented here, and it's not because we are not here. It's not because we don't work here. It's not because we don't live here and we don't go to school here. It's because we don't know that we have a place here. I'm here to change that as a citizen and to show people that look like me, look like you, that think like all of us, that Mr. Dion's rhetoric is not something that we want to be honored in such a way that whenever our children wake up and go work hard to go to study and then wind up at a track where they're working hard for more hours and hosting other people to come, that this is not what we're saying we're about as a community. Because I know that it is not, and I would hope that the city council members would join me in saying that we are so much more than anything that that represents. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council?
Okay. Phillipa Work, 391 Duluth Avenue. I'm here to support the resolution for the John Dion track and field that it will remain designated trustees. Not because Mr. Dion is perfect, none of us are. I support this resolution for the overwhelming good Mr. Dion has brought to this community. In the full agenda packet, which I doubt the two previous speakers took the time to read, there are several pages summarizing some of those accomplishments. The chairing of the Milk Fund for 14 years is just one of many, many things Mr. Dion selfishly gave of his time and energy. I recommend everybody at home go online, call City Hall, ask for a copy. It is a resume anyone would be proud of. And I should stop myself here, but I cannot. Why? Because there is another packet that was out there. One put out by Councilman Higgins. All right, and it's also pushed by Councilor Higgins and supported by Mr. Mancini. He's not here tonight. The packet is a petition titled, City Council, Don't Honor John Dion. This packet has 4 directives. Sign our petition, contact your elected officials, call or email them, come to the meeting, and spread awareness. A little background might help here, because it's been painted a certain way by a certain councilor. You see, Kiffis claims Mr. Dion is a white nationalist. Why? Why indeed? Was their behavior exhibited by Mr. Dion? No. It is not as simple as that. The offense committed by Mr. Dion was that on his radio talk show, Mr. Dion, who self-defecates often on his show, said he wasn't sure what white nationalism was. But if it meant that loving this country, of which he does, means that he is a nationalist, and if being white means being white, which is what he is, he admitted to that, does that mean he is a white nationalist? He thought out loud, maybe it did. So there you go, folks. That's the proof of Mr. Kippis. That's the only proof. That's the only record. And I didn't write this, but your son goes to the parks in the city.
Absolutely.
Has he gone to Costa Park?
My son goes to every park.
You know who Mr. LeBrecq was?
Mr. LeBrecq, address us, please.
I'm sorry, I apologize for that. But something Mr. Kiffis doesn't want you to know is Mr. Dion is not the only person Mr. Kiffis thinks is a racist. It is not just Mr. Dion. It's Mr. Larry Poitras. It's the entire WNRI radio station. All of them, and all of their listeners, and their sponsors too. All racist. Matter of fact, just about everyone living in Woonsocket is considered a racist. Why stop there? Are you aware Mr. Kiffis also sees Nazis as part of the Never Again movement, thinking about the Wyatt Center? ICE agents and Border Patrol are all Nazis. All must be stopped and done away with if we are to have open borders. Mr. Kiffis says he himself doesn't like being tagged as Democrat or liberal. Why? What could he be hiding? Does the Progressive Socialist Democratic Party mean anything to you? It should. Look it up before you vote the next election. And while you're looking up the Progressive Socialist Democratic Party, look up some other parties with similar names and who their founders were. Like the National Socialist German Party, who gave us Hitler. The Italian Socialist Party, which gave us Mussolini. The Russian Socialist Party, Vladimir Lenin. The China Socialist Party, which gave us Mao Tse-tung. In closing, I quote Mr. Joseph Nye Welch to Joseph McCarthy. Have you no decency, sir? And just for the record, Mr. Costa was a person of color. The park is named after him. He was a policeman of my generation and before my generation, was loved and adored by the entire community. And it was John Dion, I believe, as council president, who spearheaded naming that park after that person. And may we never forget that. May we never forget the greatness of Mr. Costa, who I remember from my days in grammar school. Came along with this other big lug of a guy, and they entertained us, and we adored and loved them. But it's only because of Mr. Dion that many of the people who didn't know Mr. Costa should look up how great he was to the city of Woonsocket. And with that, I thank you for your time.
Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council?
Good evening. My name is Carol Wilson Allen of 139 Halsey Road. I come stand before you against the resolution of renaming the park after John Dion. Reason being, I didn't write anything down, just listening to Mr. Dion on the radio station. I've been listening to WNRI for the past 2 years, and to hear him speak, it's always negativity. And that Dion Park, myself, others like me, other races, we all go to that park and walk around. So if we're gonna go to Dion track, and you have to walk around and think that this park is named after someone that speaks negative about race. And like this gentleman said earlier, John Dion was on the radio this afternoon speaking about how he hired Mr. Costa and he hired 2 black men on the police force. You know, so yeah, that was his job. So what's the big deal because he hired 2 black person and Mr. Costa? You know, so I just think the resolution, the park should be renamed City of Woonsocket Track and Field, or Woonsocket Track and Field. But John Dion is not a nice person, you know. And I listen to WNRI just to hear what he's going to say. And his callers that call in, they're just as negative as he is, you know. And he's done, I've read the resolution where he's done great things for the city of Woonsocket like 30 years ago. But what is he doing today? He's speaking negative in the atmosphere. And we are all citizens of the city of Woonsocket. It doesn't matter what race or what nationality or what creed we are. We should all be respected. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council?
Estelle Bubble, 648 3rd Avenue, Woonsocket, Rhode Island. I've known this, I've lived in this city all my life and continue to tend to stay here. I'm the 4th generation on my mother's side living in Fairmont. I've known John Dion and everybody here. We have never ever had this situation here in the city. Why bring this to the city now? It is not needed. John Dion has done a lot, and Al Costa, and the other one, big guy, was Joe Solano, which was very, very well liked in the city. So I'm asking my councilors to please leave it as John Dion's park and leave it where it is. I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council?
Good evening. My name is Jeremy Higgins. I live at 97.
Sir, what's your last name again?
My name is Jeremy Higgins. I live at 97 Warwick Street in Woonsocket. I just came to support a no vote against the resolution. I don't think children like this guy should have to run around in a track named by a person that apparently is espousing white supremacist ideals on radio. And today I thought this was a guy that was probably dead, and to be honest with you. But finding out that he's still alive and espousing this on the radio makes me even more angry. And I'd just like to say I'm a voting citizen, and if we'd like to see Woonsocket progress into the future, we've got to start looking towards people that will live here in the future, not people that have been here in the past. That's all I have to say. Thanks.
Thank you. Is Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council?
Hello, my name is Sandy Miller. I live at 780 Park Ave. I'm addressing the same issue as apparently everybody else here. By his own words, he called himself a white supremacist. Mr. Dion, unless you grew up in a bubble and are still in that bubble, everybody knows what that word means. Those words mean. He put himself in the company of David Dukes, Richard Spencer, even Stephen Miller. We always wish to be known by our best intention, but will we always be known by our last worst act? Sorry, I'm not good at speaking in public. I just think, like many other people here, I share French-Canadian descent. I have Dions in my family tree, so it's not about being an outsider, even though I just moved here. It's about doing the right thing for the right reason. There are a lot of people. I always thought Bill Cosby was a great guy. Turns out he wasn't such a great guy. He may have had a lot of great qualities, but he had serious character flaws. The man was a rapist. And I grew up with him. I revered him. I loved watching his shows. I loved listening to his records. But he was not a good person. He may have done a lot of good things, but again, we're known by our last worst act. And that's all. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anyone else that would like to address the city council?